Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by healthy, albeit shameful, helping to pointless banter, lack of focus, and quest to acquire knowledge.
And more.
And more. Today we're going to talk about a new game that we've been checking out. Actually been out since February 26 of 25. Developed and published by SemiWork. It's a game called R.E.P.O. There is periods between, so it's R.E.P.O. I wonder what it stands for. I never learned that.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think they really tell you that in the game, do they? I even did the tutorial last night and everything. Well, because I needed to understand what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course. No, I get that. The first time I played with a couple of buddies of ours, and none of us did the tutorial. We just went straight in and tried to figure it out as we went. It went as good as to be expected, I suppose, without knowing what to do. But it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with it. It's a game where you don't extract material. Well, you do extract materials, but not bring it back to your ship. It's kind of Lethal Company-esque, where you go to a location and you have to retrieve valuables. You put them in a little cart, put the cart in a little station. This big vacuum comes down and extracts them. Where they're extracting to, I don't know. It's not exactly covered in the lore of the game. It's just something that happens, and it's something that we do. You're these little robots, these hilarious little robot characters.
I wouldn't even think that they're robots. I felt like they were Muppets.
A buddy of ours and I were discussing this, and we think we're actually Canadians.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
If you were to think of Terrence and Phillip from South Park with their mouths kind of going crazy.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same thing, the way these characters talk, which what I appreciate so much is the time that they put into the animation of the characters as they're talking and interacting with one another. There's this in-game chat where your character's mouth flaps up and down alongside with you talking in-game. Another thing, every time somebody talks, all the other characters, their eyes track towards them. Whether the person is looking at you or not, what you see on your end as you're talking is all the other characters, their heads turn and look at you and their eyes track with you. I love that attention to detail that they went through to make that possible.
It has given me so many funny moments. I was dying laughing last night. I could not control myself. Even our one buddy, Demented, he's just like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, no, I'm not.
So the initial description of this game is it's an online co-op horror game with up to 6 players. You locate valuables with fully physics-based objects and handle them with care as you retrieve and extract to satisfy your creator's desires.
What's physics-based? What's physics-based, you might ask?
I thought it was funny because I pitched this to all of our buddies when I first found out about it. I sent you all the link. I say, everybody check out this game. I'm buying it right now, whether you do or not. I want to play this so bad. And I gave that overall description, and one of our friends asked what physics-based was. And, I get it. If you never heard the term before, I guess it's kind of confusing as to what it is. And I just gave my least patronizing response that I could possibly formulate. It was just that items or objects in the world obey the laws of physics, rather than if you were to play Lethal Company and you carried an item, if you dropped it, it just boop.
It teleports down to the ground. Yeah.
Whereas this game, you have to carry things. Things have weight to them. If they crash up against something while you're carrying it, it'll lose value because it gets damaged by being bashed about. It can potentially break whatever the item is.
I broke a lot of things.
Yeah. Many of us have.
I picked it up and it broke.
So you push around this little cart. The inside of it is padded. So if you get something in there, it's for the most part going to be okay and not prone to too much damage. And you try to stack as many things as you can in the cart. It has a little value meter saying what the value is of everything in your cart. which that I appreciate. That's a cool little detail and very helpful detail to help you evaluate whether or not you're ready to take the cart back to extraction, because you have to meet a certain goal, a certain number. In the more advanced stages, the different levels, as you progress further and further, you'll have more extraction points that you need to distribute your objects to. So you have to go to the first extraction point, turn in whatever quota that one has, and that then gives you access to the next extraction point where you have to go there, unlock it, find out how much the quota is, and then find that much money worth of materials and objects to put into there. Once you fill up all your quotas and you close up all the extractions, then you're free to evacuate and move on to the next level. In between levels, they have a little shop where you can get health packs, because your health is continuous throughout your run. You can get weapons. We haven't actually tried any of the melee weapons yet, because, melee weapons are pretty expensive. But you can also get grenades, flashbang-esque grenades as well, like stun or shockwave. You can get little landmines that are explosive, or they stun, or they have a shockwave. They have upgrade packs, which are continuous throughout your run. You purchase these upgrades such as strength, you can lift heavier objects, stamina or health upgrades, which just give you more stamina or more health. Sprint increase, make you run a bunch faster. Or maybe, I don't know, a bunch. I've never actually gotten one.
I've only gotten one, and I can't actually figure out if it did anything.
Right, okay.
I feel like I run the same, but maybe that's because my stamina pool is only restricted to 40.
As you're going throughout these levels, there are threats that you have to deal with. I don't think we've found all the monsters yet, or seen all the monsters yet, because we're always seeing new ones.
We have not.
I have no idea how many that they have, but they are all absolutely terrifying, and they do hit hard. So it's really difficult. But you can also hide under many things. You can crouch down really small, and you can hide under chairs. You just have to make sure that the monsters don't see you go under these things, or they will actually crouch down and hit you and potentially obliterate you.
Some of them won't. It depends on what the creature is. Some of them can get down below. If it's, say, bed level, where it's all the way down, then I definitely haven't been attacked being under a bed, but you got to be careful about being close to the edge, because Demented got killed by like the nurse character or whatever. He was too close to the foot of the bed and it got him. So he died right in front of me, and I went, "No!"
One funny happening that we had, the only time that I have gotten attacked while hiding under something, this hunter character
with a shotgun.
Yeah, he had the shotgun. He's dead on it. It's hard to avoid this guy. But the thing we found out is that he's actually blind, and he reacts to noise.
Because of the sound. Oh. And we don't shut the hell up. Oh.
Yeah, we do not. It was funny. The one time, me and one of our buddies, we hid under this counter that's on the ship. And so we were hiding down below, and the hunter was coming into the ship. For some reason, he kept tripping over the stairs and falling on his face.
That was funny as hell.
He got up, he walked out, and our buddy were laughing. And then he came back again. We didn't know why he was coming back again, but it's probably because we were laughing at him. Yeah. And he tripped again. And I was like, bah, what an idiot. And he stands up, and he just blasts the shit out of me, and I just explode. Oh man.
I think that's what happened to Demented too, because we were trying to look out for our other buddy, Woody. He disappeared. We didn't know what happened to him. We were all hiding under like the benches in the little ship or vehicle or whatever. So we're all hiding there. Demented is like close to the back of the truck. I don't know if he laughed or what, but after the hunter came up over and tripped, and then turned right to him and went, blah! And it just obliterated him. I went, no! I thought we were safe in this ship.
No, you're definitely not safe on the ship.
No, apparently not. This does not follow Phasmophobia rules at all.
no safe zone.
No safe haven.
You're not safe anywhere, so you have to be extremely cautious all the time, which is something I appreciate because I find that to be a lot of fun. The fact that you can't hide, it's not like Lethal Company where all the threats that are inside stay inside. Obviously, you have threats outside as well, but as long as you don't have like a Springhead or a Jack in the Box chasing after you, I mean, I'm cool with the outside threats. It can be pretty easily avoided. As far as this game goes, this game has legs. It's so much fun. It's hilarious. I have such a good laugh every single time. It does take me back to like the early days of Lethal Company when we just started playing it, before we had systems and strategies down. And it's very refreshing spin on it, especially like with the physics-based objects. I love that aspect, and it presents a whole new challenge to deal with. A lot of goofs and gaffes that happen as a result of messing it up, breaking things that are extremely valuable. I should mention as well that a lot of these monsters, they can damage your objects.
I noticed.
Especially if it's in the monster's path. If your cart is sitting there out in the open, they're going to just destroy everything in that cart. It's pretty devastating when that happens, obviously. So you have to try and distract the creature or like lure it away.
So I did notice there were at least two creatures that I came into contact with that I want to say are also, they don't like light, maybe, or flashlights. Two of the creatures, one of them had clown feet and a laser attached to its head. It was almost like a Dr. Evil kind of thing. But anyway, so I crouched down and I was like, maybe if I just stay real quiet and I just crouch along, it won't notice me. And I was able to walk by most of them. But then it came to me trying to bring a cart back, my back to the creature that I knew existed back there, which is my dumb fault. But all of a sudden I heard it thumping back behind me and I turn around and there's nowhere to go because it's just this thin hallway and there is no way to go left or right. I tried to hug as far left as I could and he just kicks me with his clown shoe and I just go barreling forward. Stun locks me so I can't move, so he kicks me again. I died. No, I died. Bad.
I love the ragdolling effect. Whenever you get knocked out or pummeled by something, your character goes into this kind of ragdoll state, but instead of just being like all floppy everywhere, your character just gets really small and scrunched up, and your little arms and legs start wiggling.
It's almost like you're trying to run.
Yeah, it's so funny to see. You could ragdoll yourself too by just tapping Q. I haven't figured out a good use for that except for going downstairs quickly.
Always a solid option.
If you want to go downstairs quickly, you just sprint, jump, ragdoll, and you go flying.
You know what? I'm going to try it. I am going to yeet myself at a monster next time we play.
I wonder if it works. That's a good point.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I can knock it out. If you get enough momentum, right, you would think that you might be able to apply some damage.
That's a solid point. I mean, we have done that to each other countless times and knocked each other out just to mess around with one another, as we're apt to do. That's a good point because the monsters, they actually obey the laws of physics as well. So sometimes they can be knocked over or
fall downstairs. Gravity's a bitch.
Yep, especially blind people and stairs don't mix well, notoriously.
As it's been foretold.
Yeah, as it's been foretold. Not that I have like any, personal recollection of things like that happening to blind people, God forbid. But no, I can imagine they're quite difficult.
If you want a nice new game, try out with friends, I'd recommend it. I'm ready to play it again.
I want to play it tonight.
Oh, sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm going to yeet myself at some monsters.
For science!
For science!
If you enjoy the Merle and Locke podcast, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/merleandlocke or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.